Something is very wrong. I didn't get in my way. I need to lie down. I need to lie down. Get up.
Hey girlies, so as all of you know, it was just the Oscars this past Sunday and I had a lot of thoughts and I was like, wait a minute, I have a place for this. This belongs somewhere. I just want to chat about the Oscars, and it's really annoying that I have to say this, but you know, disclaimer, these are my opinions. I found that the most beautiful thing about opinions is that we don't have to share. You get to have your own. So if you disagree, it is what it is, and feel free to politely discuss in the comments. So yeah, fun fact about me, award season is my favorite time in pop culture every year. I feel like the only thing that comes close to this is the Met Gala, but it's like award season number one. I love it. I'm talking the Golden Globes, the Critics' Choice, the BAFTAs, my personal favorite, the SAGs, all leading up to the Oscars. Every award ceremony, I'm sat, I'm watching live, I have my prediction, I'm taking notes. It is my Super Bowl. And this is all to say, I've been following the Oscars race really closely, and if you're familiar with how award season goes, you know that the award shows directly leading up to the Oscars can often help you make informed guesses at who's gonna take the Oscar home, because there's just certain trends that emerge. For example, as much as I loved Ariana Grande and Wicked and was rooting for her all award season, I knew that as much as I wanted her to win, the chances of her winning the Oscar were really slim. Why? Because Zoe Saldana, who was also nominated for Best Supporting Actress in the same category as Ariana, had been sweeping at all the award shows leading up in the category. Obviously though, the Academy loves to throw a curveball every now and then, and there's always a surprise. And so this is what this video is mostly going to be about. Let's jump into the first one. The first surprise being that Mikey Madison won Best Actress for Anora. When they called her name, I was gagged. Here's the tea with Anora, right? Here's my relationship with the movie Anora. I thought it was really entertaining. I thought it was extremely entertaining. It had me hooked from the beginning to the end, and no one could have played Anora like Mikey did. Like, Mikey is Anora. She truly transformed. It just really shows her chops when it comes to acting. So this is not at all to say that she wasn't deserving of the recognition. It just so happened that I preferred other performances over Mikey, so that is why this shocked me. My personal choice to win was Fernanda Torres for I'm Still Here, an incredible film, but we'll get more into that later. However, my actual prediction for who the Academy was going to vote for, based on the trends in the award season, was that it was going to be Demi Moore for The Substance. Demi had a really nice winning streak for this category, except when it came to the BAFTAs. Mikey actually won. And I remember being so happy when she won the BAFTA, because while Anora had initially gotten a lot of critical acclaim after its release, it was kind of looking like Mikey wasn't going to win any of the major awards for her work in Anora, which was going to be kind of sad, because again, her performance in this movie is really great, but the BAFTAs really changed that. And the Oscars now being over, it's so clear that the Academy was obsessed with Anora. Like, that much is clear. Again, I'm happy for Mikey. She seems like literally the sweetest, kindest person on earth. We're also like the same age, so it's like I'm rooting for her. Like, she ate, and she was without a doubt the best part of the film. Moving on to Best Actor. Adrien Brody winning Best Actor was actually not a shock for me. He was the person who I predicted the Academy would vote for, but just wasn't my personal choice. I didn't love The Brutalist, but we'll get more into that in the Best Picture discussion. Other nominees for this category were Timothée Chalamet in A Complete Unknown, Colman Domingo in Sing Sing, Rafe Fiennes in Conclave, and Sebastian Stan in The Apprentice. And I will just say, Sebastian Stan in The Apprentice, fine. Sebastian Stan in A Different Man, incredible movie. That was what he should have been nominated for, but whatever. I digress. As a 2017 Timothée Chalamet stan, I love that man. Like, he is, to me, one of the most talented working actors today. Like, I think his range is incredible. This man had me in the theaters on December 26th, sat to watch a movie about an old white man who, frankly, I do not know. Obviously, I heard the name Bob Dylan, but like, Bob Dylan could pass me on the street, would not recognize that man. Sorry to that man. No shade to him. No shade to Bob Dylan fans, the Bob heads. Like, no shade. It was just never for me. But you know, that is his power. And the thing is, despite all of that, I was very much fervently rooting for Colman Domingo for his performance in Sing Sing to win. Yep, I had to. Like, I had to. I don't know how people could expect me to watch all the best actor performances and not come to the conclusion that Colman Domingo was the best choice. Like, if you watch Sing Sing, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The issue was that the girls weren't watching Sing Sing. It was so much harder to find a showing of Sing Sing than for like more widely distributed movies like A Complete Unknown or like The Brutalist. But you know what? Colman Domingo won in my heart, and that isn't all that matters, but I have to make it enough. And I wasn't shocked, you know? I wasn't shocked that Colman lost because leading up to the Oscars, Adrian and Timmy had been winning in this category. But rest assured, Colman Domingo, you will be avenged. Your time will come in the sun and you will be avenged. We will get you the Oscar. Thank you. Anyway, back to Adrian for a second. His speech, much like his movie, was so long. And for what? And for actual what? Okay, I'm the most excited to talk about Best Picture. This is what actually gagged me. I was like catatonic. So the nominees for Best Picture were Anora, The Brutalist, A Complete Unknown, Conclave, Dune Part 2, Emilia Perez, I'm Still Here, Nickel Boys, The Substance, and Wicked. Obviously, Best Picture is the biggest award of the night, and while I can't watch every single Oscar-nominated film, I always make it a point to watch all the Best Picture nominees, even if I know I'll hate them. Looking at you, The Brutalist. You guys already know I found Anora entertaining from start to finish, but the screenplay for me was really its pitfall. It was just lacking at points, so wouldn't be my pick for Best Picture. The Brutalist, this movie was 3 hours and 35 minutes of my life that I will never get back. And it was so incredibly depressing. But the thing is, take my opinion of The Brutalist with a grain of salt, because I knew going into this movie that it wouldn't be for me. Like, it's just not my vibe of the movie that I would reach for. I solely watched this for educational purposes and to reach my goal. If you watch it, I hope you enjoy, because it is 3.5 hours, so it would suck if you hated it. I would know. Conclave 8. I really enjoyed this movie. If you like gossip, drama, tantalizing tea, like, this movie is for you. And you may be like, what? It's about like choosing the next pope, and to that I say you need to tap in. If you want tea, this gives you tea. It's also just so beautifully shot, and I love Stanley Tucci, so in my personal opinion, it achieved what Emilia Perez was so desperately trying to do in a more interesting and nuanced way. And that's all I'll say on that. With all of that praise being said, it still wasn't my personal choice for who I wanted to win, but really solid movie. Now, what was the movie that in my wildest dreams I would have loved to win, you ask? Dune Part 2. Yeah, I'm so serious. One thing about me, I loved Dune Part 2. I am a Dune Part 2 truther. It's not even the fact that Timothy's in it. This movie just genuinely changed my brain chemistry. Like, it is art. I was in the theater multiple times consuming this. Like, it was so good. And, you know, I'll never forgive society for getting mass amnesia, forgetting just how incredible this film was when it came time for nominations to count, because this is the film that Timmy should have been nominated for Best Actor. Like, his performance in this, absolutely insane. Denis, the director, absolutely deserved a Best Director nomination, and he was snubbed. And call me crazy, but I think that Austin Butler deserved a nomination, as did Rebecca Ferguson for Lady Jessica. Like, maybe it didn't have to be an Oscar nom, but like, they deserve some kind of recognition, like a Golden Globe nom at least. I feel like people just forgot how good this movie was, and it's not sitting well with me, and it never will. Anyway, Dune winning was just a pipe dream, and like, I knew that because the Academy has a huge aversion to sci-fi, to sequels, and most importantly, to sci-fi sequels. So it was never going to be her, unfortunately. Emilia Perez was a movie that I did watch. Did I enjoy it? Can't say I did. There's just so much controversy around it. I don't know. I wanted to get it. I wanted to like it, but I just didn't. And I think I, like many others, were just stupefied at how it did so well during this award season. Still trying to figure that out. I don't think I ever will. I'm Still Here. What an actually incredible film. I would have been so happy if this movie had won. It's shot so beautifully. It's so warm and heartbreaking at the same time, and I just highly recommend you see it in theaters if you can. Nickel Boys was another one of my favorites, another heart-wrenching story. This one's about two black boys who are sent to an abusive reform school in Florida in the Jim Crow South, and it's another film that's such an important story. If there are any three movies you take away from this video that, like, if you haven't seen, please go watch Sing Sing, go watch I'm Still Here, and go watch Nickel Boys. All incredible. incredible. The filming of Nickel Boys is so unique, and it takes a little bit of getting used to because it plays around with POVs. It's so excellent. And as much as I love this movie though, I didn't expect it to win since it just wasn't nominated at other award shows, and the distribution as well. It just was not playing as widely as it should have been, but if it had won, it would have been so deserving. Now, Substance was so disturbing in the most fun, over-the-top, exuberant way. I really enjoyed it. I was fighting for my life watching this because I was so disgusted, but also I couldn't look away, and obviously, like, that's the point. I thought other nominees were stronger, but this was really entertaining watch. Wicked. So, I have a few words about Wicked, and before I get into them, I do want to say I love this movie. Like, the Thursday it came out, I was sat. I love the acting, I love the music, I love the choreo, for lack of better words. It was magical. The reason I think, though, that Wicked didn't take home Best Picture, like, acting categories, especially like Ariana or Cynthia for their respective categories, was just because if I had to guess, it's because there's going to be a part 2. And I'm not saying this is fair or that this is the way that things should go. I'm going to assume that a lot of the Academy, as they were voting, were probably thinking, okay, if part 2 is just as good as part 1, the girls will be back, the movie will be nominated again in like a year, and they'll have their time then. Again, not saying this is right, but that would just be my guess, because Wicked really did just like take over. And Wicked as like a show has always been famous. Like, it's Wicked, but this movie elevated it to new heights that the musical has just like never seen before. So one can only hope the girlies and Wicked will be back next year and they'll get their time in the sun. Anyway, spoiler alert, in case you didn't know, Anor ended up taking the coveted award home, which absolutely gagged me. Nothing this night shocked me like Anora taking home this award. And again, Anora stands. Mikey truly did her big one, and it's like a huge win for independent film, but this was just so out of left field to me. Like, I was well prepared for Doom Part 2, Nickel Boys, I'm Still Here to just not win as much as I would have liked them to win. My prediction, I had figured either The Brutalist or Conclave was gonna take the award home. Again, not because they were my favorites, but because they were just such front runners during the lead up to the Oscars. And so Anora taking that, I was shook. I guess it's the beauty of award season, you know, you truly never know what's gonna happen. Do I think Anora should have won? In my opinion, absolutely not. You will never be able to convince me that Anora is a stronger movie than Nickel Boys or I'm Still Here, or Sing Sing for that matter, which also should have been nominated. But you know, shout out to the Anora girlies, because in the end we defeated Emilia Perez. Those are my overall thoughts. Ending on a happier note, things that I really enjoyed. I was so happy to see Brazil taking home Best International Film for I'm Still Here. That was such a highlight. Truly. Like, I was praying that they would defeat the dark forces of Emilia Perez, and thank God they did. If you're able to see it, go see it. It is an incredible movie based off of true story of a family living in Brazil during the military dictatorship, and it's just, I'll leave it at that. Other highlights, of course, I would be remiss if I did not mention Ariana and Cynthia opening the show. Their vocals, truly just something that came from heaven above. I feel honored to live in this like lifetime where I'm witnessing them be historic in real time, and that's just so exciting. But yeah, those are my overall thoughts on the Oscars. Please let me know what gagged you, you know, what shocked you. I would say most of my predictions were correct. Those few categories though, shook. But yeah, I love you guys, and I will speak to you at some point in the future. Bye.